Hello and welcome to today's edition of the Spirit of Fire blog tour. It gives me great pleasure to be at the Azure Dwarf Horde of science fiction and fantasy, which, by the way, is one of my favorite blog names out there, and being hosted today by William Bentrim. So thank you, William. He is quite the artist when it comes to Photoshop images. He's always surprising us with these really clever Photoshop images and things like that. So yeah, he's a creative guy and has got a great blog, and I've had the pleasure of being hosted by him before with reviews and so forth, and really appreciate the chance to visit today. So going to get to the interview right now. William asks, your world of Ave is so detailed. How do you keep track of all the details in creating a world? Well, the world of Ave, which is the world that Fires in Eden series is based in, actually goes back to the mid-1990s. So I've been working in, imagining, and developing this world for quite some time. So by the time you spend that many years and working with the world, a lot of it does become kind of ingrained in your head. I do keep files where I do keep kind of notes and ideas and sketches of the things within Ave, and especially with characters and so forth, because I don't want to have too many instances where a character changes eye color or something like that. So there are I do keep a file, and sometimes I'll do a double check on like somebody that's minor that doesn't appear too often, just to make sure that I do get those kind of details right. So it's kind of a combination between kind of keeping a little bit of an archive, and then also just the fact that I play in Ave so much, and it's very much a world that I'm immersed in inside my head. So anyway, yeah, it's actually my escape where I'm most happy. So yeah, it's not so bad then. Let's see. He has number two. The second question he has is, do you have a number of volumes in mind for the entire series? In just talking it over with my editors, I have we project that it's going to be about a 7 or possibly 8 book series, and I do know the arc. I do know where it's going. I knew the ending before I wrote page 1 of this series. So it's not a case of not knowing where it's headed, but based on the installments at the moment, it's probably going to be about a 7 or 8 book series. And then the next question is, how do you write? Do you get inspired and write spontaneously, or do you have a specific time? Or with as busy as my schedule is nowadays, I actually write in the early mornings. And that's when my brain is freshest. It has not been cluttered with all the things that occupy the author of the modern day, with all the promotion, social networking, day-to-day life things and so forth. And so I tend to write when I'm most fresh and clear. I have a dedicated computer that is not connected online that I write on. I like to play music when I write, just to kind of create a little bit of a bubble around me, and I always tend to drink my favorite beverages like Monster Energy while I'm enjoying my writing sessions. So I do have my little quirks, and and I do have more or less a schedule. I mean, I have found that when I write when I'm fatigued, the results aren't very good. So at night, if I'm still feeling pretty sharp and I'm not too tired, sometimes I will do another session. But I won't push it, because it's kind of, I'm going to go back and have to overhaul it anyway. So so right now it's it's pretty much along a general flow of schedule. But once I get into my environment, I kind of snap into what I call my writing mode, and so it's it has a lot of spontaneity within that, and that's where sometimes new characters and threads do emerge when I'm working through the titles of the series. So. Or working on short stories or anything else. Okay, the next question is, you seem very involved with 7 Star Press. What made you choose them for your books? I am the first author of 7 Star Press, and I was at the genesis of it, and I do represent 7 Star Press, but it came out of Amanda DeBoard looking over a couple chapters of the manuscript that became the Exodus Gate, and her seeing that it had potential based on, we had a dinner meeting, and she wanted to work with me and work with the series, and I made her aware that the second series, and Matthew Perry was willing to come in and do layout and the cover art and things like that. And so out of that genesis, 7 Star Press was born with me as the first author, and what drew me to it is just the opportunity, to work close with an editor. I love the idea of being able to meet with an editor in person here in Lexington, and get to work closely with them, and because I really believe that an editor is your best friend, because they really watch your back and help save you from you sometimes, and that really attracted me. And then also, the chance to actually, work, with an artist directly, and this is something now that all the 7 Star Press authors are enjoying now, the ability to have those kind of connections with editors, with artists, and things like that. So it's just grown very organically, and it's very much I like to describe it kind of like as a family, because it really has that kind of feel. Where we're all in that together, and so that's one of the things I really like about 7 Star Press, and have been definitely am enjoying my time with everybody. And okay, his next question is, what has given you the most success in marketing your books? That's the million-dollar question for the modern-day author, whether you're independent press, major press, or self-published. It's a very hard world. There's no magic bullet. I think that in terms of marketing, it's just a combination of things, of doing live events and conventions, of doing the social media, things like Facebook and blogs and Google Plus and Twitter, and obviously it gets pretty crazy, sometimes, and can get a lot of work, and so I don't think that any one thing has necessarily been incredibly powerful. I will say, recently, like I said, Amazon, I'll say that has given authors some great tools to work with their KDP Select program, and some of those kind of things have been very effective in getting to introduce my work to new readers. And so there are some things that come along that really can help you, but it's more or less a consistency of working with multiple tools that really I guess makes it work as far as getting the word out there. And in today's world, the bloggers and are indispensable. They are wonderful in terms of giving opportunities for authors like myself to give an introduction to ourselves and our work to readers out there, and which was a tool that was not so available not so long ago. And so some things have definitely tilted in the favor of the small press, independent, self-published type authors that have been very good. So and then last question he asks, what advice would you give an author trying to find a publisher? And my advice is research them well. Don't jump right away. What you want to do is maybe talk to some authors who are with that publisher, just to find out how that publisher conducts business. Another thing is when you're with a legitimate publisher, they're the ones that are taking care of the editing, the cover art, things like that. You're not the one paying for those sorts of things. So I would suggest it would be an immediate red flag if whoever you're talking to about publishing is suddenly telling you that you're going to foot the bill for editing or an artist or this or that. A legitimate publisher, with a legitimate publisher, the flow of money always goes to the author, and that's kind of like a measuring kind of thing that you should use with, first of all, with all publishers that you're evaluating, just to see, test their validity, and then talk to authors that have been with those publishers and see if there are any problem with kind of attention they give, because there are a lot of there's some publishers that'll throw just tons of titles against the wall and see what sticks and go from there. There's others that are more hands-on and more supportive of the authors, and so and everything in between. And so what you want to do is just get a real feel for how they conduct their business, what they're looking for, if they're the right fit for you, if they are going to be able to do based on your goals. Are you wanting to do it as a career? Is it more of kind of like a part-time thing for you? What kind of publisher are you looking for? And so these are things that you have to take your time with, and you have to do what I would call your homework on, and but definitely those are a few things that I would keep in mind if you are looking for a publisher. So, well, that's the last question that William has for me today, and thank you very, very much for watching today's interview on the Spirit of Fire blog tour, and definitely I hope I can come back to the Azure Dwarf Horde of science fiction and fantasy. I love saying that. Take care now, and bye-bye.